Okay, good morning. So we're going to continue to the next lesson, which is about continuity and discontinuity. So you can open your book, page 45. Open your book, page 45. So continuity and discontinuity is a property of a function that you should be able to determine too. Yeah. So if you see the figure 2.4a, you can see that there is a graph there. It's a linear graph with a removable discontinuity at x equals 3. Yeah. So it seems reasonable to say that the function is continuous everywhere else because the graph seems to have no other gaps or jumps. So basically a function is determined as a continuous function if the graph is connected. If the graph is always connected, it's always, there is no gaps or jumps, then we can say that it is continuous at a certain point. But for this example, it is discontinuous at x equals 3 because there is a gap there. The x is not defined, the value of the function is not defined when x equals 3. So that's why at that certain point when x equals 3, the function is called discontinued. It's discontinuity. Okay. Now, if you move on to the next page, page 46, there are several examples for discontinuity. The figure 2.4b, it's a removable discontinuity. So the function is not continuous on that graph because there is a gap there at x equals c. On figure 2.4c, it is also not continuous when x equals c, even though the value of the function is defined. But there is a gap there, there is a jump there. And then there is the next one is called step discontinuity. If you see figure 2.4d, from one point, it jumps to another point suddenly. So it's called step discontinuity. Yeah, so far we have removable discontinuity, removable discontinuity, and then we have step discontinuity. Yeah. And then the next example is a vertical asymptote. If it has a vertical asymptote, then it's called infinite discontinuity. It's called infinite discontinuity. And then also, so that's the first four examples are the examples for the function that is not continuous at a certain point from B, C, D, and E. For f and g, it's an example of a function that is continuous at x equals c. Now, figure f is continuous all the way from the first when it starts until it ends, even though at x equals c, there is a cusp there. So what is a cusp? A cusp is defined in your book, page 47, is a sharp point or an abrupt change in direction. Yeah, so it's meaning that it's like the graph is broken and suddenly change the direction, but it is still continue. Yeah, so you need to be able to understand what a cusp is. Okay, and of course, the last example, it's a continuous because it's all the way connected from the beginning to the end of the graph. Okay, so what's the definition of continuity anyway? So there are three conditions that needs to be fulfilled for you to be able to say that a function at a certain point is continuous. Yeah. So continuity at a point. So this is in the gray box on your book, page 47. There are three conditions that needs to be satisfied. The first one, the f of c exists. Yeah. So if we see the example for B until for G, actually f of c exists. For B, it doesn't exist. For C, it does exist. For D, it does exist. For E, it doesn't exist. For F, it does exist. And for G, it also exists. For FC. Okay. And then the second condition, the limit exists. Okay. If you see again to the graph, then B actually the limit is exists, where the limit is L. The C is also, the limit is L. The D, for the D, the limit doesn't exist because approaching from the left and approaching from the right, it approaches a different value of Y. For E, we will discuss it on the next lesson. For F, it does have a limit, which is x equals y equals L. That's the limit. And then for G, it also have a limit, which is L. Okay. And then the last condition that needs to be satisfied, the FC must be equal to the limit. So the exact value must be equal to the approximation value. Like the B example, actually for B example, it's not continuous because number 1 and number 3 is broken. The rows are broken. For C, FC exists, the limit exists, but it's not equal. So number 3 is not satisfied. For D, the FC exists, but the limit doesn't exist. So of course, number 3 is also not satisfied. For number 4, it's not continuous because FC doesn't exist. For F, it does exist because FC exists, the limit exists, and actually the value is the same. So for F, we can say that actually it's continuous. As for G, it's also continuous because FC exists, the limit exists, and they have the same value. Okay, so these three conditions, you really need to memorize it. That's how you determine whether a function is continuous or not. Okay, so another thing that I want to discuss on this lesson is about one-sided limit and piecewise function. Okay, as I said, actually I have said it before a couple times already when I teach you about limit. The limit can approach from the left of x and also can approach from the right side, right? So that's called one-sided limit. So if you see page 48, the symbol is this one. Limit of x approaches c from the left with a negative sign of fx, and the limit as x approaches c from the right with a positive sign of fx. Okay, the first one, it means that the limit is approaching from the left side, which is x is less than the value of c. And the second one, we are talking about the value of the limit when x approaches c from the right side. So it means that the value of x that's from bigger than c. Okay. So there is a theorem that says that the limit of x approaches c of fx exists if and only if the limit of x approaching c from the left side of fx is equal to the limit of x approaching c from the right side of fx. Which does make sense, right? So let's see the example. If we see figure 2.4k, I will draw it for you so it's easier. Okay, there is this one, and then open circle, like a quadratic, then continue like this. This is x equals 2, and this is x equals 5. Okay. So for this graph, well, let me just give you the value for this one. This is actually 6, I think. This is 4. And let's say that this is 5.5. Okay. So when x is approaches 2, actually the limit of fx as x approaches 2 from the left is equal to 6. Do you understand why it's 6? Because it's approaching to, because it is approaching to this side from the left side. So it's approaching 6. But when you see it approaching from the right side, then actually it's approaching 6. It's approaching 4. Right? It's approaching 4. So we say that the limit of fx as x approaches 2 from the right is 4. Now because they are not the same, because the limit of fx as x approaches 2 from the left is not the same with the limit of fx as x approaches 2 from the right, so we can conclude that the limit of fx as x approaches 2 does not exist. Okay, understand? So yeah, that's all for today. I hope you understand today's lesson. Thank you.